Just checking for a sound. Not hearing myself. Let's see. Mic. Let's crank this bad boy up. Here we go. All right. Is that any better? So crank this up a bit more. All right. How's this sound? All right. It seems good. If it is too loud or too quiet, y'all just let me know. All right. So today we have this lovely box here that came all the way from Japan. I know what's inside mostly, for the most part. I know that this is 19 packages of things that I got, all combined into one. I use a service called Buyee that is no sponsors. I'm not on this. If they want to, hey, wouldn't put it past, wouldn't say no. But I haven't opened it. I mean, the only thing I did was I took the label off so you can't see my address. Oh, so it looks like they actually, okay, so they may have actually unboxed and repackaged everything in here. I did ask for protective packaging, so they may have actually taken everything out of the original boxes and put them in here. So we're going to see kind of what we got, look at the quality. I kind of, like I said, I sort of know what I have, but it's like 19 things. I'm like 50-50 on like remembering everything that was there. So let's start with this guy. All right, so up first, let me see if I can move this a little bit for you guys. Maybe you guys can see this a little bit better. Let's see, I'm gonna use my live view so it's not like on a delay. Let's see, that might be better. All right, so let's see. Up first, I mean, it's kind of obvious what I got, is for the Game Boy Color, a copy of Shin Megami Tensei Last Bible. For those of you who know me, huge Shin Megami Tensei fan. One of the reasons I did this was to get a lot of SMT stuff. So I did get Last Bible for Game Boy Color. Let's see how they can, I mean, box condition, I mean, decent. I mean, for something that's Game Boy Color era, I am not complaining. So we have cartridge, and we have the book. Book's a little messed up in the corners here, but again, for a game of this age, not gonna knock it too hard. Most of the stuff that I ordered are either through like Yahoo Auction or Mercari Japan. So they kind of showed you what everything was, how things looked. You kind of like based everything off of that. Let's see. All right, what's next? All right, we got this, It's wrapped in some green packaging. Oh, there's like a ton of things here. Okay. So we'll take one at a time. Alright, so this first one is alright, another game. This time, I believe it's Game Gear. Yes. This is Shining Force for the Game Gear. So, yeah, the game box is pretty banged up, but you know, again, age and not really like sitting here going, I need it to be perfect. So we got the game, comes with the plastic clamshell and the manual. Let me grab my Game Gear. This one has been fully modded, so new screen, recapped, and battery mod. Also put a analog stick on it versus a D-pad. Turn it on. Let's see, make sure that the contrast isn't all the way down. Ooh. That's not a good noise. Like it's trying to read it. Sometimes these older ones just need to be sat in just the right way to work. I've not had many problems with. There we go. Looky there. Let's see. Maybe if I turn the contrast down a bit, you guys can see. Boom. We got Shining Force. Sound works too. Beautiful. Alright. So, happy with that one. Could have easily been like a pad card or anything, but you know, seems good. Again, I'm assuming most of these are going to work. I think they all were listed as working, or like if they weren't listed as working, they were listed as, you know, junk. So they're like, hey, you're taking the risk on purchasing. So, you know. Alright, let's see. This one's got a couple things in it. Okay. Okay, so this is the red, I believe it's Game Boy Color, if I'm not mistaken. What we picked up. Obviously, to go with me, obviously picking up some Game Boy Color games. Yeah, so red Game Boy Color. I mean, it is in very good condition. Even has like a screen protector on there, which is very nice. I'm not sure who wrapped them in like this little plastic cellophane stuff. I don't know if that was Buyee or if this was the seller, because again, they all like it's in like this like green packaging. So I don't know if like when they consolidated them, they're like, okay, we're gonna open all the boxes and put everything together. Alright, so looking at the battery contacts, everything looks good. Doesn't look like there's any corrosion. I don't believe I have any double A's with me right now to try. So I will have to grab a couple to check on the functionality. There's more in this. Alright, so there's one other rep thing in there. This little package here. I believe This is the one I think it is. This just came with 3 games. Yes, this was a 3-game pack one. And if I'm not mistaken, they're all different Yu-Gi-Oh games. So, yeah, so there's one Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Game Boy, another game for Yu-Gi-Oh for the Color, and I believe this is a 3rd Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Color. Not sure which ones are which. I'd have to, I mean, one says 2, one says 4, and then this one doesn't have a number. Could obviously throw those into Google and translate those out. Once I get some batteries, we'll also test. We'll test this guy with some games. It should work with everything we've got. All right. I'll grab the next package here. Oh, and a wild pan appears. I'll have to keep an eye on him, because he will definitely try to hop in this box. Alright, so in this box, or in this bag, this package, is this one item? Yes. It is SMT Last Bible Special Edition for the Game Gear. Definitely, again, another. This one a nice little sandwich bag. That's pretty cool. Another, the box is actually a lot better than I was expecting. Better than the Shining Force box for sure. Okay, again, we got the game on the plastic clamshell, which is wonderful because always need those. Some kind of card, warranty card maybe. Manual for Last Bible. And we got this, which is like a poster maybe, or some kind of something. Maybe some kind of stat, something that probably helps you understand different things. So yeah, okay. So I'm assuming these are different spells because it has like name, MP, and I'm assuming some other portion of that. Obviously, some of these are heals. Alright, so yeah, this is probably like a quick guide for like knowing what your skills do when you're playing the game. Alright, and then let's test Last Bible. Make sure that this one works. Oh, almost. The thing with older games, man, like sometimes it just needs a little bit of working in and out. And you're technically not supposed to blow on them because moisture from your breath, but quick way to clean the contacts. Still nothing, huh? I know with this one, a lot of times, sometimes you have to like put the game in and out a few times to like clean any dirt or dust off the contacts. Hey, there we go. See, just rock it in and out a few times. Oh, I didn't get past the intro part, which means we're getting closer. So it's ready to work. It just needs to be in the right, like, there we go. And there's the Sega. And then, boom, SMT. Yes, Last Bible. appear that there is a save on here. So that means the battery is still good on this one. I believe this one has a battery. I'll have to double check. I think this one does have a battery. There was a save file. So it might still be good. We might still order up a couple batteries to replace those just in case. Because you never know. Let's get this bad boy back in his box. And then all the paperwork. And there we go. Okay. So far, 2 Game Gear games in, and they both work perfectly. I know people are going to be like, well, you popped it in and out like 50 times. Perfectly. For something that old, and Lord only knows, like, if they need to be cleaned. Because, you know, I could probably go in there with, like, a Q-tip and, like, clean off the contacts and stuff. But, we'll see. Alright, we got another loose game. A lot of the things I got, well, this is the first loose game. No, other than the Game Boy Color games. This is the first loose game I've gotten. I think most of the ones I got were in boxes, unless I, like, made a conscious choice to buy, not box. I believe, yeah, this is Shining Force. So, another copy of Shining Force. It is the same one that we had to complete in box. That one is just the game, however. I believe that was a bundle with something else. So, you know, kind of had the complete in box one, but I also got that with another set. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I think I know what these are. We'll flip it upside down. I know what they are. Let's pull them out. We'll flip them over. And oh, come on. What's my cat doing? Oh, they're playing with some string. I was like, why is my cat spazzing? But they're playing with string. Come on. Second one in there does not want to come out. There we go. Alright. So, we can tell by the back we have some Game Boy games. And they are Game Boy Regular, Shin Megami Tensei Last Bible, and Shin Megami Tensei Last Bible 2. Now I know I have the, like I said, I have the color boxed one, and I have the loose regular Game Boy 1 and 2. That was a conscious choice. I knew I had already had one complete in box, but this was a really good deal for both of these, and figure if I have the color in box, I can get the Game Boy versions out of box, and that'd be fun. I'd be okay with that. Alright, this one's sticking out, so we're gonna grab this one next. Ah, haha. It's a collection of Game Gear games. Very nice, very nice. This, I forgot, I didn't know this. I couldn't remember which ones were all in the lot that I set out, like, for this package. So this is, you know, I know what I ordered. It's just I don't know what's in the box because I kind of just like randomly threw the first bunch into a box. And then when everything else got delivered, I kind of, or arrived at their warehouse. What I did was I boxed up everything else. So I have a couple more things coming. Couple more boxes coming, I should say. Alright, but this was a really good set of Game Gear games that were on Yahoo Auction. So I figured I would get. So we've got Lunar for the Game Gear. Fantasy Star Adventure, Eternal Legend, Royal Stone, and Meta Monogatore, I believe, is this one. It's the second one. I'd have to translate it to make sure. It says it has battery backup. It says memory backup on there, so I'm going to assume that there's a battery with this one. So I'm going to have to test the battery on that. Oh, this one's pretty cool. It has a little like price sticker on there for whatever store they got this from. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna even take it off. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's gonna like ruin it, but I like it. Alright, so for these, I'm actually gonna open those a little bit later. We'll look at those in a minute. Let's get into this next set here. We'll test everything at the end. Because then I can also run and get batteries. So it'll be like just test, 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 test. Instead of like test, put stuff away, test, put stuff away. Alright, so our next package. Oh, and for those of you who are curious, again, I got these all through a site called Buyee, Buyee.jp. It's a site in Japan that allows you to buy stuff off of like Yahoo Auctions, Mercari Japan, Yahoo Shopping, any site that's in Japan that you normally wouldn't be able to buy stuff from the US from. And it also works very similar to another site called Syndico. If you ever guys heard of that. I've used both services now. I will say I don't feel like either one is better than the other. This is the first time I've ever done a consolidated, so I can't say like Syndico's better at Buyee or Buyee is better at Syndico than like for consolidation or pricing, because again, you're going through Yahoo Auctions, you're going through Mercari. They don't set the prices. As far as like ease of use, I would say Buyee was a little bit easier because with Syndico, you have to have your money in your account. Like you have to know that you're buying something. You have to have money in an account. Um, Whereas with Buyee, you can just link up a credit card. I was even able to like look at things and like place like bids on things without having anything on file. So like I could choose when to actually make the payments. So that was really nice. But other than that, yeah, like they're both about the same. They do have like a fee to use, like for them to like do the transaction for you. But yeah, they're both really nice. All right, another Shin Megami Tensei title. This time, I believe this is 2 for the Super Famicom. So let's open this bad boy up. Ooh, here we go. All right, so wrapped up in plastic too. Not taking this bad boy out of the plastic. So boom, Shin Megami Tensei 2. Comes with a little card about using AC power, making sure your system's plugged in. Some kind of card in relation to Shin Megami Tensei. Maybe like a warranty thing. It's like a warning or like use thing. You know, like one of those like make sure you're taking breaks. And then obviously the manual for the game. Do I own a Super Famicom? No. But at the same point in time, I'm not like this one was bought more so because it was really, really cheap. And it was complete. And I was like, yo, I will take it. For other stuff, yeah, like I definitely made sure I had a system. So like the Game Gears, I have Game Gears. The Game Boy Color games I bought a Game Boy Color. But for the Super Famicom one, that one is literally just for a collection. Because it's SMT, I am not trying to get every game. I won't say I'm going to do that. I will say I'm going to try to get a lot of them. Alright, next game up. Alright, another Game Boy Color game, another SMT game, I can tell you guys that much. Okay. What are we looking at here? We have Card Summoner. So it's Shin Megami Tensei Card Summoner. For the Game Boy Color. Again, another one that I believe is complete in box. Yeah, so there's the game. Came even in like the little cardboard sleeve to hold it in. Dang, this manual like is almost pristine. Like they've never even opened the manual, like the cards inside. Yeah, like these pages like don't feel like they've ever even really been looked at. The boxes pretty good. Like I would think that this game is like was bought, opened, looked at, and then probably just sat. Like someone's like, I want to sell this one day. And they did, and I bought it. Alright, we have got this one. Again, I'm assuming that because these are in like little green bags, that these was part of the consolidation process. So they, to make it fit into a box, they didn't just shove boxes in boxes. And also probably because I just said protective packaging. Which is a couple reasons why I like that Game Boy Color being one of them. Wanted to make sure they got here safe, and also, see kind of what they think of protective packaging. What does that mean to them? All right, we have a Game Gear game. This is SD Gundam. I believe it's called Winner's War. Oh, Winner's History is what it's called. SD Gundam Winner's History for the Game Gear. Also came in the clamshell. There we go, without the haze of that. So we'll test that bad boy out later. And right now it looks like we're through the green packages after this one. Looks like everything else is just together. Alright, another Game Boy Color game, another Shin Megami Tensei title. Like I said, there's a lot of SMT in this box. Because that is a franchise that I am wholeheartedly a fan of. And yes, I would definitely play these, even though they're fully in Japanese. I will take the time to play them. This is Devil Kids White Book, I believe. There was White Book, Black Book, and Red Book. And I think I got White Book solo, and I think I got Black and Red Book together. Again, game is in the cardboard. We got the manual. I got a Shin Megami Tensei card in like a plastic little sleeve. Probably gonna put this in like a protective sleeve. I don't have anything SMT related, but I do have some. What's it called? Ascension ones I can put it in. Again, another one of those little registration cards, and then the book looking really good. Yeah, I mean it's giving you all like your your fusion stuff. Looks like the tool that they use to hold and summon. Their starters. So you have your two characters, and I'm assuming like he's the protagonist of one, he's the protagonist of the other. It's probably I think this is very similar to like the Demi Kids Light and Dark version on the Game Boy Advance that came out stateside. Um, the Devil Children saga stretches back, obviously, to Game Boy Color. Um, so yeah, one of the reasons I picked this up is SMT. Gotta have it. Again, I will grab batteries to test the Game Boy here in a bit. Okay, so now, like I said, it looks like we're out of the green envelope, so we're just gonna reach in, I'm gonna grab a package. I know what this is. I could tell you before I even grabbed it. I saw it. It is a Game Gear. It's a very special Game Gear. And it is a oh. Okay, they put the game in. They have a game in it as well. I believe it came with the game. I thought there was more to it than just the game loose. I'll have to double check the listing. I thought there was more. But that's fine if there isn't. It's not the end of the world. So this is the Magic Knight Rare Earth special edition one from Japan. Battery contacts look good. Whether or not this one needs it or not, I'm not sure. But it's definitely going to get recapped. It's going to I'm going to recap it. I'm going to get a new screen on this. Don't know if we're going to do the battery mod on this one or not. But if I do, hold on one second. We need to spin. I need to get him out of here. How do I? We're going to ban you from chat. Alright. But this one's going to be fully modded out. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if we're going to do the battery mod on this one, but we're going to do definitely screen, definitely recapping. And then we're going to see what we can do as far as getting this guy, like, out into the world again. I might replace this top screen because it's looking a little bit worse for wear. It's a little more scratched up than I would have liked. But I do have a couple that look pretty good. And then it came with Sailor Moon game. Don't know much about the game. Like I said, I thought there was more to it than just the game. I thought there was some paperwork or something. I'll double check that. But as far as the Game Gear, that's actually to go out on sale. We bought that one to kind of sell, flipping it because it's super cheap, and I know that those can go for a nice little penny when in good condition. And then with mods done, here we go. So this is the Game Boy Advance. Demi Kids. This is the light version of Demi Kids in Japanese. I would so much love to have the American versions as well. I owned them before. I'm kicking myself now for having ever gotten rid of them. Here is the dark version as well. like I said, very much regretting having gotten rid of those games because, man, I love that franchise. Okay. Does this have battery? It does. Awesome. All right. So, because we do have, I don't believe this should be region locked to Japan. Oh, the cat's in the other box. I was like, what is that noise? Cat's jumping around in a box. I don't believe this is region locked, so I do have a Game Boy Advance we can try this on. If it is, it'll obviously be just part of a collection, which is fine. Like, I really wanted them mostly for the collection. And as you guys can see back there, there's my red Magic Knight Red Game Gear on display, some other stuff, and then as you can see, a bunch of games on display all the way around. So those will find their way into that section at some point in time. Need to find some more space, honestly, for some games. All right, let's see. Here it is. So let's see, what do we got for dark version? All right, so we have the cardboard with the game. Even still has like the little plastic thing to go around the game. That's just crazy to me. And then the book. Doesn't appear that there's any like registration card or anything like that, which is fine. Don't need it. I will say for these, I do know, like, I've played through Demi Kids at least twice, so shouldn't be a problem. So let's see if the Game Boy reads it. It is not going past that Game Boy logo. Let me just double check. I don't believe they were, but they might be. GB, GB. No, it says GBA games are region free. Okay. So they should. Okay. It's looking like it may just be a contact issue. Alright. Yeah, it's not working right away. I'm going to clean them up a bit. But I do have, like I said, I have my Game Boy Micro here that I can test them out on. So I'll be testing the Game Boy Advance games at least on this. What else is in here? Let's grab this one. What is this? Like, I'm doing this without looking. I'm kind of like trying to go in as blind as possible. Like, not knowing what I'm going to pull out. Blind, anyway. Alright, and there it is. Game Gear version of Last Bible. Yes, that does mean I have Last Bible on Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Gear. From my understanding, the Game Gear version has a slightly different ending than the Game Boy versions. Hence the reason we got them. Was to get that extra special ending. Put that right there. Okay, what is this? Ooh. Ooh, this is a lot here. Alright, well, I can see what this one is. This says Last Bible 2, Game Boy Color. So this is the Last Bible 2 inbox. So let's go ahead and open this, kind of cut everything. There we go. There we go. Alright, so Last Bible 2, Game Boy Color version. So that means we have both inbox Game Boy Color versions of 1 and 2, as well as loose 1 and 2s for Game Boy. There's the game. Has a little registration card. It does not have the manual, which is slightly disappointing on that front. But I believe that was the only only boxed version. Hey, stop trying to eat the plastic. I have to stop my cat here in a second. And then Last Bible 1 Game Boy Color loose. That one came with, this bundle came with 1. Like I said, I already have a 1 complete, so that's an extra 1. Not necessarily for a collection or anything. Some of these duplicates may go to other people. And I do know some people who like to collect games. So, or, might sell them. And then this is the Last Bible, a legend of outside that a goddess rebear. So this looks like a strat guide for Last Bible. Which is really cool. I'm down for it. I'm here for it. This one? This one? Yeah. That'll go over here since it's not necessary for testing purposes. What are you? Aha, okay. So I wasn't wrong. There was more to go with the Game Gear. Okay. So that Game Gear that had the Sailor Moon game also had the box for Sailor Moon. Had the box. Had some plastic inside, I guess, to keep the shape of the box. It has the booklet. It doesn't have like a case for the game, so I will have to source a case. I believe I have a couple. So not the end of the world. Alright. Ooh, a bunch of small stuff. This looks like a bunch of loose games. So we'll see what these are. Again, when it comes to the loose stuff, I'm not 100% what I'm getting, because I kind of forgot. Like, the Last Bible stuff, I know I got. The, devil children stuff, I know I got. It's when it gets to, the loosies that... Oh, okay. Now I know what this is. I wasn't looking when I was unboxing. Boom. Another Game Boy Color. This is the translucent purple. Looking pretty nice. Battery contacts look good. I might have to straighten out the springs a bit. They look a little bent. You can't really see it. I can take some pictures, but they look a little bent. But other than that, it's looking really good. I'm thinking, I have to double check. I'm thinking of doing like an IPS mod, screen mod to these, to get the better screen on this. I'm not sure if I want to do it on this one or the red one. I do want to get one Probably having a third because I like this one. I like the red one. Probably thinking of getting like a third one and giving it to like the kiddo so she can see me playing and she can like join in. She has like one of my refurbed Game Gears that she plays on, purely because she sees Dada doing it as well. Also, this one came with a copy of Pokemon. This will not get played. This Pokemon Blue, not going to use it. Not going to be played. Not going to go on display or anything. Might put it up for sale. Might just kind of leave it. Don't know. Pokemon's not my thing. I've played like one Pokemon game ever in existence. That was Platinum. Alright. So that, I know you're all like, man, that's not the end of the box. There's something way in the back that we can see. That is it for like the small stuff. There's this big thing right here that I've been avoiding this whole time. Now we're going to take a look at it. Oh, there's a couple big things right here. Okay. How do I do this? Let's see. We'll lift this, and then there's a couple small things in here. So we're gonna grab one of the small things. Box of small things. Or not box, but bundle of small things. And yes, there's a reason why I'm saving the big one for last. Hey, there we go. Alright, so, yes, as expected, this is Devil Kid Children. This is Black Book, and this is Red Book to go along with White Book that we saw earlier. Wonderful. Awesome. Again, SMT all day. Alright, so we're going to lift that up. Is there anything else that is... Oh, wait, this right here is another small bundle of something. Okay, this might not even be... Like, this might just be something else. Hold on. I'm going to look at it before I put it on cam. I don't think it's a game. Judging by what I know the big thing is, I don't think this is a... Oh, it is. Okay, so this is not a game, per se. It is, however, a Game Boy Micro. And yes, I know, you guys saw that earlier. You saw mine, and you saw the one I just got. Yes, I have a second one. This one's a little banged up, a little bruised. Not as pristine as the one I have. Not as much a fan of this one as the other one. It did come with a Mario game. Think this one was listed as junk, but mostly because I think they said they didn't have a charger to charge it up, so I have to give this one a charge, see if it works. But the idea with that one is, yet again, those go for a decent penny, and that was pretty cheap to get. Like I said, I had hopes that it would look better, but, you know, it is what it is. I've seen some janky ones going for way more than they should. So, alright, let's move on to the big one. Alright. Again, part of the reason why we got protective packaging were those handhelds and this bad boy here. So, you may be asking yourself, what in the world are you unboxing? Oh, you put it in a bag. It's pretty cool. Alright, so we'll pull things out of the bag one thing at a time. There's a controller. If you know the controller, you know what I got. If you don't know the controller, stand by to stand by. We'll put it back in the box, that's fine. We got the power cable, which is what I thought that other bag was. I thought it was the accessories. So, you know, we got the, like, trying, okay, so that has, okay. We have the video cord. Yeah, remember these bad boys? I hope there's something else in here. This will tell you exactly what it is. Boom. Sega Saturn This is Sakura Wars 2 for the Saturn. Came with the console. Well, dang, I said there's a console. This in my lap is not the console, but the sleeve, there's the case, there's the first disc, in like immaculate condition. There's like the paper, like a poster or something to go with it. Disc 2. The book. Like this thing's like a novel. Like Jesus. And then disc 3. So this is a 3-disc game. Again, a registration card. Good to see. Alright. And set that right there. Damn cats. There we go. That's closed, and there's this. Now, the Saturn, however, is a region-locked console. Stop it. So, unfortunately, a lot of the games that I have will only work on a... Well, that game will only work on a Japanese Saturn. Ugh. We got a fight stick for... Oh, and also has like a turbo. Nice. LNR. I'm not even sure what this does. Maybe this is like how you activate turbo. Like you flip this, you turn this, you get turbo. Don't know. I'll have to like look it up. I don't think I ever had a Saturn back in the day. Alright, and that brings us to the bottom of the box. I believe this is the last thing. I'm going to double check the bottom of the box just to make sure nothing like was missed, nothing was stuck, because obviously I'm not going to want to throw anything out. What is this from? Ah, this is from a Hard Off, okay. I've heard of Hard Off. And here she is, the Saturn. It opens. It was listed as working. It's a little dusty in there. We'll have to go in and clean it out a bit. Probably get some compressed air. Clean this sucker out. But as I was saying, they did have issues with, well, these are region locked, so, you can't, there's a battery in here that may need to be replaced. I don't know what this port back here is for. If anyone knows, let me know. I'll look it up, but there's also a battery in here that may need to be replaced. Probably to keep, like, system time and everything. And then flap here, I think I've seen some, like, memory cartridges that, like, they go there. Power button, reset button. The feet feel, this one's a little, it's been picked at or replaced. This one's pretty good. Again, not here to like knock on anyone's stuff. This is in damn good condition for as old as these things are. But yeah, that is it. Looks like everything else is just bubble wrap and padding to help make sure that everything made it here safely. So I'm gonna throw up a BRB, just so I can go grab the batteries, and then I will be back and we'll test out the rest of these games. So hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. We got batteries to test. And let's, I guess, turn the camera this way a bit. So we can test out. Okay. First things we're going to do is just going to grab one of the Yu-Gi-Oh games. And, alright, powered right on. I don't know if you guys can, yeah, you can see the screen. And maybe make sure there's light on it. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this so you can actually see that. There she is. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a little hard to see. I'm not sure if that's just due to age or what. It does work. I can choose people to fight against. Oh, that's not who I chose to fight against. That's who I am. That's probably making. Yep, there we go. Yeah, and then it like takes it into the game. So yeah, definitely works. Cool. So that one works. So we know this Yu-Gi-Oh game works. It does have a battery cell inside. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to find the save file on this one. See if it's still good. Volume goes this way. I don't think the sound is working on this. I mean, it made the ding. But yeah, like once it's in the game, it has like this. Yeah, it probably needs like a new speaker or something like maybe new capacitors or something to fix that crackling issue. But so far, everything working a-okay. Yeah, it even does it on other games, so it's definitely definitely the game, definitely the system. But there's the other Yu-Gi-Oh game working as expected. I don't know if you guys can really see that. I want it to be closer so you guys can, in fact, see. But I feel like there we go. That's a good view. Boom. All right, so there's that. All right, so far, Yu-Gi-Oh games, a-okay. So let's see, the Game Boy Color games we would definitely need to check. So let's see. All right, so we know that this one works. Let's switch batteries into the purple one, and we'll use the purple one to test a couple other games. And then we will switch over to the Game Gear and check out some Game Gear games. I do need to get the Saturn hooked up. Need to figure out if that TV that I have on my wall will take RCA input. I think it should. I think that TV's old enough that it will. Because I did switch it to a TV. I did have a monitor up there at one point, which definitely wasn't going to work. So, gotta switch that out. Alright, last Bible. Here we go. Oh, does not power on. Oh, wait. It does power on. Okay. Got a little bit of weirdness going on. Okay, let's try reseating the game. It doesn't feel as nice as the other one. Okay, there we go. It looks a little bit better. He gave me the Nintendo. Speaker works really well on this one. This little lens here is pretty scratched up, but I think I can get like replacement ones pretty easily online. Oh, it says, like, I'm assuming if the bottom one is a save, there's either no save on this or the battery died. Alright, so yeah, now it has me going in, doing like character naming and everything. So this one, so that's loose, the last Bible for Game Boy Color, definitely working. So if nothing else, let's just make sure Last Bible 2 works, because if the other Last Bible one doesn't work, at least I have that one to replace it with. And then we'll check the loose Game Boy ones, and then we'll switch over to Game Gear and search a couple of those. Gave me some like wonky lettering on that one, so we're definitely gonna try that again. Alright, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Last Bible. Two. Alright. Doesn't appear that this one has a save file either, or the battery's dead. But now I'm back at the creating a character portion. So there we go. That's not really create a character, just like naming your character, because you know you were just nameless protagonist. You were just hero in a lot of games back in the day. Alright, I'm not going to worry about the Game Boy Color. I mean, I have like a lot of games. I don't know that I want to try and test all of them. On this stream. I mean, again, it's not even a long one. We're at like an hour. But I mean, again, an hour is a long time to watch someone open a box and like look at random shit. Last Bible, Game Boy. Same game as the other one. This one definitely had a save on there. But now that I know how I found that one, I might be able to find the other ones. This one definitely had a save. Looks like it's a little bit okay. Like it's not color, but like it's still like a black and white, but it had a little bit of like splash color to it. It's pretty cool. All right. The only thing that I want to test that I haven't tested to my liking is the Game Boy Advance games. Yeah, it's not booting up. Yeah, it's weird. Alright. So far, the dark version game not working. Should definitely work. I don't like everything I've seen shows that GBA is region free. Um, um, I think they didn't start region locking until a little bit later in the like handheld sphere. Um, so slightly disheartening that that one's not working. Hoping let's just chalk it up to age and needing like a clean on the contacts or something. Yeah, so this one boots up and gives me like the Nintendo logo at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. But this one boots up. So this is light version. There is a save on this one too. Cool. Alright, so it definitely means that hey, don't know why, but I just put in dark version and there it goes. Boom. Dark version. Lovely. I think that turned it down a bit in the brightness department. Maybe you can see it a little bit. There it is. Dimmy Kids running on my Game Boy Micro, so I'm happy about that. So my two Dimmy Kids work. The Game Gear games I've tested so far have been in good working order. I'm gonna test the Game Gear itself. Because I ordered one when I ordered mine. It came working-ish. It would only work with the charger plugged in. It wouldn't work on batteries. And then I did all the mods to it and everything. It worked fine. But it may need like a power board replacement, or at least the capacitors on the power board replaced. So we'll see on that one. And then that will be it. I just want to see if this even, if I get red light, if I can boot to red light or not. Okay, so it does turn on. Which is a plus. Now I know I had a game. Where's the? Oh, we'll try it with this one. I was gonna find the Sailor Moon game that was loose, but Shining Force should do. All right, so it is reading. Ooh, sound works. Screen works. So, I mean, there we are. We are in game. The screen on this, as I've stated before, not the best as far as like this. This little plastic thing is a little scratched up, more so than I would like. But again, easily can replace that. I have one that's not that bad. Or I could just order up a fresh one for a couple bucks. overall body looks pretty good. Yeah, something with a couple mods on this bad boy be perfectly fine. Obviously it needs new capacitors, but that's, I'd say, every Game Gear. I mean, I won't say needs because obviously it boots up without it, but to give it longevity, we'll definitely want to make sure that those capacitors get replaced. While I'm thinking about it, since I do have the Game Gear out, here it is. Here's the Sailor Moon game that it came with. Let's plug that in. You can also see there's some dirt and dust behind the lens. That's definitely need to be like cleaned out. Alright, so we get the produced by, which is generally like a precursor. Once we hit that Sega logo, I call it all good. We are now into Sailor Moon game. Boom. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Let's see, maybe if I turn down the contrast a bit. There you go. Now you can see it just a little bit better. There it is. Cool beans. Alright, well that is the haul. Like I said, I have a couple more boxes that I need to have delivered. So we'll definitely do another one of these. What I'll do is I'm going to test everything else on my own time. And then I will, when I do the next video, we'll go over all of the things that I tested, make sure everything works. And then once everything's there, we'll start looking at the other stuff I got. We're definitely going to try this bad boy out. I have a TV over there. We're going to try hooking it up to that probably sometime this weekend. Hopefully that works. And then we can start working on getting this upgraded and finding my charger for this guy, getting this and this out on the market for selling. And again, if anyone is interested in Pokemon or either of the two, whether it be the Game Gear or the Game Boy Advance, let me know. Like I said, those are going to go up for sale. And I can let you guys know when those are available. I'm probably going to put them up on eBay just so that way I can get probably the most money. I'll put them up for like a buy it now for like a pretty ridiculous price just to like see what people are willing to pay, but then like have a bid starting at like a more reasonable option and then going up to, see what we pay it out for. But yeah, that's it, guys. Super excited to have the two Game Boy Colors. I really like this one. Kind of sad that the speaker on this one's kind of shit. Hopefully it's just a bad speaker and like just a quick solder job to replace that speaker is all it needs. Probably gonna open up both of them, give them a clean inside, get the button contacts cleaned. I don't see any like obvious signs of dirt or corrosion, but obviously want to go in there, clean them out just in case. And then, like I said, I like that this one has a screen protector on it. I always like a red system, obviously, because I got that. I have my red one over there. I have a red Vita. I got the red PlayStation controller. I have the red plates on my PS5. So if you can get me a red special edition limited or anything kind of like thing, definitely in flavor for it. A lot of SMT stuff, and a bunch of Game Gear JRPGs we have to go through. So I'll let you guys know next time we do an unboxing how everything went, and I'll see you guys next time.